What's up everyone? Welcome to another video which we talk about classes. Now this piece of information was compiled by my guildmate. His name is Muhammad K. So I think he did a marvelous job in this. I wasn't the one that come up with this data, but he's the one that compiled all of this data, and it's extremely detailed. So if you're wondering if the class that you're going to pick, especially if you haven't played Lineage before, and if you are wondering if the class that you pick is right or whether it suits your style, maybe you will want to listen to this video. And we can't guarantee that all the information that we provide is correct, because basically he did some survey across all the Korean websites, and also based on the skills that he read it himself, and he compiled. So this is what we get. Now we will be starting to talk about classes by classes for different races. So the first one that we want to talk about is healer. The human healer will be bishop. Damage is not so good, but survivability, it can survive for a long time. So now the playstyle will be healing over time, crowd control. It's best in the party of 5 because of party defense buff. It has self-healing, reduce MP usage, and restore MP. We think that it will be good for PvE. Now the next one will be Elf Elder. Now Elf Elder, the damage is okay, and the survivability is it can heal itself in a very short period, very frequently. So yeah, so that means that if you can't kill him, then he will keep healing back himself. So he's a quick or instant healer, devoted healer. So he can buff up, remove debuff. Also he has the lowest healing power but lowest cooldown, so that means he can heal bit by bit. So best at team sustain. We felt that it's good for PvP. Now the next healer will be Dark Elf. We call it the Shillien Elder. The damage is good, but his defense is like paper. So it's like it's just like paper. So anything that it's fragile. So it's the most powerful offensive healer in the game because of the 2 skills. Now he has different healing style, which is a vampiric touch buff. I'm not too sure about this. I'm just reading off this chart. No party buff except for Graceful Mind. Then the only healer with 5-second immortality, because probably that's why he's paper. And also he can remove target buff. Alright. Then the verdict is he might be good in PvP and also PvE. Now the last healer will be Dwarf. We call him the Sage. So the damage is ill. It means that it's bad. And survivability is potato. It means that it's hard as a potato. So K is the one that comes up with all these terms. So yeah, so when you see potato, so it means that it's hard as a potato. It has defense buff, highest flat number heal. I'm not too sure, but I think it's a big heal. And also he can target stun. That means he can stun opponent. Very low offensive attack, suitable for PvP. Now the next one that we are going through will be wizards. The first one is human. We call it Sorcerer. The damage is good, survivability is okay. So it's basically it's a fire stack damage. So it's best PvE because of its AoE range. Alright, the next one will be Elf, the Spellsinger. Okay, survivability is damage is good, it's okay. Survivability is good. It's more like a freeze mage, so it's slow freeze crowd control mage. So it's like a typical ice mage if you have played Warcraft before. No buff, focus on crowd control. So it's definitely, when it comes to crowd control, it's definitely PvP material. Now the next one is a Dark Elf Spell Howler. The damage is wow means it's fantastic, and the survivability is like virus. It just dies so easily. so it's a master of destructions. All right, highest DOT, very long range, so a lot of buff, very complicated. So it's just complicated, and also it's the first one to die, so that means that he's a very offensive character. It's good for PvP and also PvE. Now the next one is a Dwarf Battle Mage. Damage is so-so. Potato again, very hard as a potato. So it's a melee wizard, like melee wizard. So it's like if you decide to play melee and you want some magic instead of normal attack, then probably you'll consider this. It's recommended for PvP. Now the next class that we are going to talk about is Warrior. Warrior will be the offensive type. So for human, you have a human Warlord. Damage is great, survivability is great. Best at mass PvP. That means that it's AoE damage, and also it weakens the enemy. It's good for PvP, good for PvE. Now the next one is Elf, Swordsinger. Damage is so-so, survivability is okay. It's more of like a less attack, but more buff for the party, so it's like a buffer. The next one will be Dark Elf Bladedancer. Damage will be highest. I think a lot of you heard about this. Survivability is the lowest among all the warrior, so it's dual wield, so it stack bleed damage. A lot of Dark Elf ability that stack bleed damage. Best attacker, very popular, and you can spam AoE. So the damage that Bladedancer does is AoE. Recommended in PvP and also in PvE. The next one will be Dwarf. Dwarf, we call it a Slayer, so it's a best single target damage. So which means that it's more like a single target damager. That survivability is very good because of the Dwarf HP. Very low attack speed but single target. So it's like if you come to think about it, it's not a machine gun, but it's rather a single target bazooka. So recommended for PvP and also PvE as well. Now the next segment that we are going to go to talk about is Tanker. Tanker means defensive warrior. So the first one is Human Paladin. Any game you have Human Paladin, the same thing happens. You have a lower damage, very high defensive ability. So you have like shield block, high defense buff, you reduce enemy attack, you can silence and reflect damage, can hold aggro to 2 mobs. It means that he can knock down two mobs, because Paladin has a lot of knockdown ability. Movement speed is very slow, yeah, because I think some of his ability will reduce his movement speed. Recommended for PvP and also PvE as well. The elf version will be called Temple Knight, and the damage is average, survivability is average. He's a tank that does AoE damage very fast, so he has 5-second immortality. Best tank for PvP. That's what K commanded. Bad at holding aggro, so definitely not for PvE, but it's more or less a PvP character. The Dark Elf version will be Shillien Knight. Okay, good damage, suicidal. Wow, so it means that very not so. It's quite fragile. It's an offensive tank, and it can AoE set or absorb. Can pull long range. That means that it has ability that can chain drag or stun PvP paper. That means that it's very fragile. So it also has ability that defends, but it reduces the speed of everyone for 15 seconds. Yeah, recommended for PvP. The last one will be Dwarf Guardian. Damage is very low, but it's diamond hard. So that means that it takes a long time to kill it. So very potato, yeah, very hard. AoE crowd control, so debuff and enemy attack and defense. So suitable for PvP. Now the next class will be the Archer. The human version will call Hawkeye. Damage is good, survivability is good, very balanced, good buff and good debuff, long range AoE, so it's more towards the AoE attack. PvP is suitable and PvE as well. The next one will be Elf, Silver Ranger. Basically the damage is like machine gun, it just shoots very quickly. Survivability is okay, long range, high attack speed, good for PvP and PvE. Now The Dark Elf is called the dark version of the archer is called Phantom Ranger. It's a glass cannon. It means that it outputs a lot of damage. Survivability is bad. It's very fragile. So it's slow attack speed, but very powerful hit and not bad. And highest accuracy, lowest defense. When buffed, you reduce your own range and dodge attack. So that means that it's mainly what you call a long range cannon, single target kind of a character. Now the Dwarf version is a War Ranger. Damage is not so good, but survivability is cockroach. Cockroach, that means that you can try to kill it, but it will just run here and there, and you can never be able to kill it. So it plays on trap and evades a lot. Very mobile. So probably you can just think of it as a cockroach. Probably that's easier for you to comprehend. Now the final class, assassin. I think that assassin might be one of the more challenging one. So the human version will be called a treasure hunter. Damage is good. Survivability will depends on the skill. Now it has the human version has blink, backstab, stun, low cooldown, reduce enemy accuracy, low attack plus critical percentage, and damage buff, slight attack buff after sneak. So this like backstab, and well, I mean like going to your opponent's back, and attack speed buff, suitable for PvP and PvE. The next one will be elf, planeswalker. Damage is good. Survivability depends on your skill as well. Flash attack speed, movement speed, semi speed is very quick character. Semi kiting and push. Defense attack speed and movement speed debuff to enemy makes, and no critical buff, and it's all very speedy. So that means that you can think of it as a just like a fidget kind of blade or something like that. So it's all about speed. So it's good for PvP, good for PvE. And second last one will be Dark Elf. We call it the Abyss Walker. The damage is very high, but the survivability is very suicidal. Suicidal means that probably it goes into battle, it opens, he kills someone, and he also will unfortunately die as well. So top melee DPS in the game. Stack bleed, critical life steal. So best as attacking enemy already bleeding. So if someone is already bleeding and less than 50 HP left, probably you can one hit kill. No attack speed buff, no movement speed buff, no dodge, very low defense. So it's like a invisible and just go in and suicidal. So it's like a suicide ninja or something like that. Good for PvP and good for PvE. The last one is Dwarf, so scavenger. So mediocre damage, good survivability. So lure with high mobility, mediocre damage, can silence, reduce animal critical rate, can slow enemy, no stun. This is for PvE. Now we have gone through all of the all of the characters. So this list basically we will need to thank to our clanmate for compiling this. Thanks Muhammad K. So he's the one that arranged this. Now if you have any questions, you can post at the comments below, and do like my page and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because it will mean a lot to me. And hope you guys enjoys this and enjoy this tutorial. The information here, it might not be 100% accurate, but we try our best to give you the information that we know of, and hopefully it does help you. Like before you decide on your character, you just like double check with the information that we are providing to you to see whether it is what that you have been anticipated. Because what you don't want to do is go into the game, like play 30, you level up to 60, then you just find that it doesn't suit your play style. So that will be awful for any MMORPG. So hope to see you guys on the 14th of June on the battlefield. So peace out.